China didn't come up with this technology by themselves. A lot of it was stolen from the West, but a lot of it was also created because of collaborations between Western companies like Google and Microsoft with, essentially the Chinese state. Did they have a sense of what they were building?
Well, if we, I think when these particular technologies were built, uh, China actually took it a step further, and possibly no one actually even thought that this particular thing could actually end up like the way it is right now. So nobody actually thought it will go us that much further, and it would put the rest of the world in such an awkward position where data is being stolen and data is being used by the other countries for their own benefits.
Do you think, like these Western tech companies that help build these systems for the Chinese Communist Party, do you think they will? What do you think is more likely, that they will have to start trying to figure out a way to combat the Chinese system, or will they just get swallowed up by the Chinese system themselves?
Uh, I think currently, China is moving at a very, very great pace, and it'll be very difficult to actually ignore China, keeping in mind the resources they have, keeping in mind the technology they have. I think by X, Y, or Z means they'll have to adapt, or they'll have to adopt some of the innovations that are being made by Chinese today.
So even if the rest of the world starts to create bans on a lot of these Chinese apps, I'm sure that won't stop the Chinese Communist Party's ambitions. If they
No,
do,
yeah, like you said, if we ban Huawei today, probably there'll be some other company tomorrow, and probably if you ban some other company, then there'll be another company day after tomorrow. So Huawei has had a very skyrocket approach. They've grown multiple times in the last decade or so. So if it is not Huawei, it'll be some other company as well.
It's like Hydra. But like, okay, so what this kind of reminded me of is earlier this year, after Russia invaded Ukraine, the Biden administration put a bunch of sanctions on Russia, right? And so, like oil and gas in Europe did a lot of these sanctions, and it's like, okay, these are really punishing for us too, but at least we're blocking stuff from Russia. But then, like the U.S. is still, despite these sanctions, they make an exception for certain things that the U.S. still really needs, like Russian uranium. And it's like once you let like a little bit of stuff in, like a little bit of exceptions, especially when it comes to data, like you can make your entire network vulnerable because of one little exception.
That is exactly what is there. As you discussed this war, when US banned the oil imports, and you could actually see that from India, Reliance is still buying oil from Russia and then giving it to the other countries as well. So it'll always be an exception. China is so big and it's very hard to ignore, I would say, or even impossible to ignore.
well, especially with the Belt and Road, a bunch of countries around the world need this kind of infrastructure. They need 5G, they need mobile networks. And if China is always providing a cheaper alternative, they will always fall under Chinese influence, no matter what the West bans.
Exactly. If people in US or administration in US will not be just, I would say, just preoccupied with the US territory, they'll be moving across to other nations where the other nations will be completely occupied by China in terms of technology as well. So you cannot completely ignore that particular fact. Yes.